Greetings from the Whole Elephant Institute. So, just now I have read the first aspect of the project that the Whole Elephant Institute is going to carry out in terms of writing a statement of interest to present to the Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labors in the Department of State of America to present projects design to carry out research and evaluation of successful projects that have significantly improved the democracy and the human rights condition in mainland of China. And I have gone through the first part regarding the approach, the three approaches: documentation of program evidence, theories of change, applied research. Now we're going to go into the next part. As noted, applicants should only include one approach in each concept note in order to respond to the focal areas listed below. So what kind of focal areas? The aforementioned areas of focus outline lines of inquiry that DRL, Department of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, has prioritized through conversations with practitioners. However, DRL encourages applicants to further refine questions in their concept notes. Applicants who refine or add to the lines of inquiry below will not be penalized nor disqualified from the competitive process. Within concept notes, applicants can focus on one or more lines of inquiry depending on the scope and the budget proposed. So the three approaches mentioned above need to also work on the following focus: human rights advocacy and action. That's the first category in terms of focal areas. As I mentioned about, the Falun Gong practitioners' effort to, clarify the truth regarding Falun Gong and the truth of the Chinese Communist Party, and to wake up the people, to help them to stay away and say no to the, hate propaganda by the CCP, to stir up hatredness and discrimination among the general population of people within China and outside of China, to start to cast, those terrible actions, behaviors of violation of human rights and destruction of democracy. I think that certainly conforms to this first category of focal area: human rights advocacy and action. So here there are several points I also will very quickly go over. What attributes define or predict effective advocacy and action interventions? For example, campaigns, dialogue, negotiation. So, activities that the Falun Gong practitioners have been doing that, has been effective. What kind of format? Campaign, dialogue, negotiation. The second part, are there particular tactics and strategies that are most effective in achieving specific outcomes? Okay, those are the aspects of research that can, design to look into particular tactics and strategies that are effective. Third part, what type of external conditions are necessary to support effective interventions? Can these conditions be used as predictors? External conditions necessary to support effective interventions. How do particular conditions affect outcomes? For example, authoritarianism, as a particular condition affect outcome. Certainly, the Falun Gong practitioners inside of mainland China has been constantly facing such conditions of authoritarianism of CCP, authoritarianism of CCP inside of China, and how that affect the outcomes. I think the Falun Gong practitioners have quite a lot of important feedbacks on this. What strategies have been effective in countering these conditions? Yes, the Falun Gong practitioners have developed lots of wisdom and strategies to counter this, CCP authoritarianism condition. Do targeted interventions, for example, campaigns, dialogue, negotiation, at the micro or local level influence macro or higher level change? Targeted interventions Falun Gong practitioners have been using definitely has caused a system level change. How does grassroots advocacy and action lead to systematic change? Exactly apply to the Falun Gong practitioners' truth clarification projects approach. What types of interventions best influence system-wide change? I think the interventions by the Falun Gong practitioners, in terms of quitting CCP, to deliver the truth about what is CCP, to deliver the truth to the people, to understand why the CCP are carrying out the human rights violation and destruction of democracy, and by waking people up, and then asking people to reposition themselves. Those who already made their deadly vow to be, a molecule of the malignancy of CCP, they have the opportunity to be set free from it by denouncing it. I think it's really a great intervention, and it shall be documented, and shall be delivered to the international community, to the practitioners of human rights and democracy all over the world, through various formats of public education delivered through, for example, phone call, fax, giving out flyers, and social media platforms. That's at the individual level or at the group level of, doing parade or doing public performance of all formats of, clarifying the truths of the traditional Chinese culture that the CCP is most afraid of, to, try to destroy, and to nourish people's mind and heart with truth and traditional values and true authentic traditional Chinese culture, and to help people to recover from the a disease, social disease caused by the deception and lies of the CCP that are manifesting into severe violation of human rights and destruction of democracy. So all those great wisdom and approach and methods and intervention by the Falun Gong practitioners throughout the 21 years to make a difference in improving the human rights condition and the democracy condition inside of China, and impacting the entire international community, and also interventions to develop softwares of internet to help people to climb over the wall, to be able to let people inside of China who had been deprived of the rights of freedom of seeing the truth, have no rights of freedom of speech, no rights of freedom of press, and no rights of freedom of religion. And through the interventions of the Falun Gong practitioners, especially in the area of developing powerful softwares to allow people to be able to have access to the international communities, media platform and news, to therefore understand the truth, and therefore to say no to the lies, and therefore to stop the violation of human rights and the destruction of democracy, by building up the immunity towards poisons and the righteous force of a sense of justice and conscience. Next one is, do particular tactics and strategies differ when underserved or underrepresented communities lead campaigns, and do results differ? Those are also more like detailed studies of the specific tactics and strategies when the underserved or underrepresented communities lead campaigns. Those are all good questions. Okay, so that is part one regarding the human rights advocacy and action aspect of focal interest that to do the research study. Next, consolidating democratic change and the movements. Okay, so that's the next focal area. Okay, I probably should make a pause here.